Good morning. This video is about multiplying and dividing fractions. The first thing you need to understand is multiplying and dividing is different than adding and subtraction. You do not need common denominators to multiply or divide fractions. What we do when we multiply fractions is we multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. So let's look at a couple of examples. If we wanted to do 2/3 times 5/7, notice the denominators are not the same, and that's perfectly okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to multiply straight across the top. So we'll do 2 times 5 in the numerator, and we're going to multiply straight across the bottom, 3 times 7 in the denominator, and that would give us 10/21 as the product of 2/3 and 5/7. Let's try another example. If we wanted 4/9 times 2/11, again, we're going to multiply straight across the top. 4 times 2 is 8. And in the bottom, we have 9 times 11. And 9 times 11 is 99. And that would be our solution. Now, sometimes what we'll do when we're multiplying fractions is we'll do a little simplification before we multiply, just to keep the numbers reasonable. Let's say we wanted to do 10/21 times 3/25. Well, these numbers can get big when we multiply straight across the top or straight across the bottom. So we can do some canceling by looking at what the numbers have in common in factors. If we look at the 10 and the 25, they both have 5 in common. So if we divide the 10 by 5, we're left with 2 in the top. And if we divide the 25 by 5, we're left with 5 in the bottom. And we can do the same thing with the 3 and the 21. 3 goes into 3 one time. 3 goes into 21 7 times. And now we've reduced this problem to 2/7 times 1/5. And these numbers are smaller and much easier to work with. So we'll multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom to get a solution of 2/35. It's not that you have to do this canceling, it's just it makes the numbers smaller and easier to work with, and if you don't have a calculator, that's really nice. So what I'd like you to do right now is pause the screencast and try these 3 problems. Now, for dividing fractions, the thing you want to keep in mind is this little phrase: keep, change, flip. And we'll see what that means as we do an example. So if I wanted to do 2/3 divided by 4/5, I'm going to follow my 3-word saying here: keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep the first fraction the same. I'm going to change the sign from division to multiplication. And I'm going to flip the second fraction, and so 4/5 becomes 5/4. And then I just do exactly what I do when I'm multiplying fractions. I multiply straight across the top. 2 times 5 is 10. And I multiply straight across the bottom. 3 times 4 is 12. And I get 10/12, which I can reduce to 5/6. Let's try a second example. Let's say we wanted to do 11/6 divided by 12/9. So we're going to follow our saying. We're going to keep the first fraction the same. We're going to change division to multiplication. And we're going to flip our second fraction upside down. And now we have the multiplication problem, 11/6 times 9/12. Now I might want to do some canceling before I do my multiplication, just to keep numbers simple. And if I look at the 6 and the 9, they both have 3 in common, so I can divide the 6 by 3 and get 2. I can divide the 9 by 3 and get 3. And then I'm going to multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom, and that would give me 33/48. And that would be my solution. So with division, remember, keep the first fraction the same, change division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction upside down. Now, pause the screencast and try these 4 problems. Remember, if you're struggling, you can always stop, rewind, and watch the screencast as many times as you need in order to practice the concepts.